Hi there, Mike from Greenway. Today I wanted to talk about handy apps that you can download on your phone that are good for use in connection with your electric vehicle. Well, the first one is going to be the app that your manufacturer of your vehicle supplies for you. So for Tesla, they've got an app that they have for their cars, and I know for many other vehicles, Nissan has something called Nissan Connect, and most of the manufacturers are going to have some kind of app for your vehicle. I would download that one first and connect it to your vehicle. For some manufacturers, you'll have to send them proof of ownership, including maybe your ownership document or your registration or your serial number of your vehicle. Maybe you have to do that online, or maybe you need to do it through email or something, but every manufacturer will have a different way of doing that. But then once you tell them that you own the vehicle, then you'll be able to connect it to your online account with that vehicle. And then what you can do is there's lots of different things that different manufacturers can do. One of the main features is going to be remotely turning on your climate control, either your air conditioning or your heat remotely. So before you get into the car, it's going to be preconditioned to the temperature that you want. That's a really handy one. In the old days, they used to call that remote start on old gas cars, but now it's just a preconditioning. Another item you can do on some of them is it will tell you how far along your car is in terms of charge level. So if you have it plugged in charging, you can just check remotely how far it is along with the charge. So it's especially handy if you're at a fast charging station and you're at a restaurant, just you're having a lunch, a quick lunch, and you're waiting for it to charge. You can check to see where it's at. It's really pretty handy that way. Another thing you can do is look after or spy on your teenagers. If they've got your car and you want to see where the heck they are, some of them will show you exactly where they are and how fast they're going. So you can check on that as well. And you can also do some programming remotely as well. So you can program your vehicle to, say, for example, turn on the climate control and be ready for you to leave at 7 a.m. and set the temperature to 70 degrees or 21 Celsius. And you can do that remotely. Some of them will do that, some of them won't. Each manufacturer will have a different way of doing that. That will be some of the features that those apps will have. So that was the first app. I would definitely download the app for your manufacturer. The second one I would take a look at is one called PlugShare. And that PlugShare is just simply a crowdsourced listing of electric car chargers, charging stations, level 2, level 3, even level 1, and they'll tell you where they're located. So it's basically, it kind of looks like Google Maps. So you just look on the map and you can see where you are, or you can have it find your location, and then you can look to see where there's charging stations nearby you or around you. And you can set up your search parameters for your particular vehicle. For example, if you have a Tesla, you can just get it to search for Tesla chargers, or if you have a non-Tesla, you can get it to search for CCS chargers or CHAdeMO chargers, or if you're just looking for a destination charger, or maybe you're looking to stay at a hotel and you're looking at some hotels and you can see if they've got chargers or not. So that's a handy app that you can use to look at chargers and see where they are nearby to where you are and take a look at what's available. In addition to that, what that app has on it is user ratings. And so some chargers are well kept and they are always working, and some chargers break or become disused and they're not working. So after you've selected a charger you think you might go to, you just click on it with your finger and you can see who's checked into it. And when they say check in, that just means, the person was there. They'll often put some comments, it was working well and I got 50 kilowatts of speed, or it's not working, the handle's broken, or they'll have other comments like that. And you can search back and you can see if it's working well or not working. And if you find that there's a lot of negative comments, you maybe want to skip that one and try and pick a different one. So it is kind of handy to have an idea of where things are and how the chargers are working before you even get to the charger. The next app I wanted to talk about is one called A Better Route Planner, and it's at betterrouteplanner.com. So they have the online version and an app version as well. A Better Route Planner is a trip planning app that you can use to take a trip with your EV, and it's going to take into account the range that your EV has, the type of charging your EV needs, and then the distance and the location where you're heading to. So for example, if you wanted to take a 500-mile road trip and you wanted to take your particular EV, you can enter into the app the EV that you have and the style and model and the battery size. And then what it's going to do is find the appropriate chargers for you on the way to your destination. And you can also put in parameters. For example, you might say, I never want to allow my battery charge to go below 10%. And when I get to my final destination, I want to have at least a 50% charge, because you might not have charging at your final destination. And you can set different parameters. You can say, well, because it's cold, it's going to take a bit more battery power to get me to where I'm going. But what it will do is basically, like Google Maps, it'll plot out a route for you. But on the way, what it will do is show you where you should stop and charge. And so what it will do is try to minimize the amount of charging time that you're taking when you're going. And so it will show you where you should stop, and then it will estimate how many minutes your stop will be before you can continue on your journey. Now, what it's not going to do is it's not going to assume that you want to be 100% charged after every stop. It's just going to give you enough charge to make you get to the next stop, but keeping in mind its minimum. So if you've had a minimum charge of 10%, you want to make sure that you have that little buffer before you get to the next charger, and make sure you get there with at least 10%. It's going to charge your car up enough at the previous charger to make sure you get there safely with the right amount of charge. And so it's a really interesting app, and it is based a little bit on the Tesla route planner that they have built into their cars. Tesla had done this first years ago now, and if you wanted to take a road trip with one of their cars, they would route you to all the appropriate superchargers to go through on your route to get yourself safely to the destination. So it's going to show you how many miles it is to the next charger, how many minutes you have to wait at that charger, and then how many miles it is to your next charger. And often the stops are only 10 to 15 to 20 minutes at most in order to get you on your way. So you're not going to be hanging around a charger for hours at a time. And that is something that Tesla has had for many years and built into their vehicles, into their GPS navigation system. But now with this software called a Better Route Planner, that is available for all EVs essentially now as well. So are there any special applications that you use in connection with your electric vehicle? I'd like to hear more about them. Maybe there's some other ones out there that are really awesome. Please leave them down in the comments. If you found this video interesting or helpful, I would appreciate it if you can give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing for future videos. Thanks a lot and have a great day.